I've literally recorded this video 3 times due to messed up audio. I hope it turns out right. Alright guys, welcome to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. I got a question about lying at MEPS or what you should do for this whole process of MEPS because I guess it still seems pretty abstract for you guys. I wanted to cover the top 5 things you should do when preparing to go to MEPS. Give you guys a little heads up, MEPS is the processing center which will make sure you're physically fit and do ASVAB testing for your aptitude into the military and see if you are eligible. And this is also a place where you will pick your job. So it's kind of a big deal if you're joining the military. The consensus that I've gotten from a lot of people that are writing me is that they've been told they should lie to the recruiter or they should do something to pass this test or evaluation of whether they should join or not. On that side of the coin, it does sound like, oh, who cares if I lie about this one thing or that thing? But I'm here to tell you why you shouldn't. So my first tip for you guys is don't lie going to MEPS. Don't do it. And the reason being is that a lot of people will tell you, oh, if you had an injury, don't tell them you had an injury. The reason for that is that you won't have any issues and you can be processed into the military. However, if you have a condition while you are deployed or you are in somewhere that you are not going to be able to seek the appropriate medical care, you're going to have a lot of issues. What happens if you do have issues is, say for example, you're on a ship. They have to then fly somebody, or the ship has to fly you out somewhere and then also fly back, and then they also have to find someone else that will then take over your spot. During that time, the people that were originally on the ship have to still hold up your side of the load or the work. It is important not to do that. The other thing is, no one ever says this, but what if you died? I, as a person that works in medical, I don't want that to ever be the case, but I'm there to make sure your medical readiness is always good to go and you guys are ready to deploy, ready to do whatever you have to do to meet the mission. Don't lie. I promise you, it's for the best of you, it's for the best of the people that are serving around you, and it's the best for the Navy and the government saving money. Also, in regards to the medical issue of lying, is that you guys need to realize that this is going to be an issue for you because, for example, we had someone in boot camp where he was having to do some exercise where his wrist had flexion like this. And however, he couldn't have it go any further and it started swelling. I forget what his issue was. But this guy told the RDC, the recruit division commander, he couldn't do the exercise anymore. And the recruit division commander said, why? That recruit then said, that recruit then said that his recruiter had told him to lie to get in the military. Needless to say, a couple days after that, this recruit was then separated or started the process to separate. So not only did he waste tax dollars going there, he wasted his time. He didn't get to join the Navy, and he was sent back home, and all he got was a haircut and a couple of dollars to his name when he left. So I don't think it's beneficial for you guys to lie because that's just one example. Those things are enough to tell you don't lie about medical stuff, okay? Be honest. It's honestly for you in the end. Second off is if you did have a medical condition, make sure that you bring the documentation with you. There are a lot of people that will go to MEPS the first time, disclose they had something happen, they somehow didn't talk to the recruiter, exposing what previous issues they had, and they didn't bring the paperwork, and MEPS tells them to then come back another time with that paperwork. It makes your process a lot more messy. To save you time from going to MEPS that night before, waking up early, staying all day there, and then driving back and then doing that again just to get some medical paperwork, go to your doctor, let them know of your intentions. So if you had to do some kind of physical therapy, make a note saying that you did physical therapy and the doc says you're good to go. Or your follow-on care, you are perfectly A-okay. That will save you guys a lot of time. Number 3, you guys should be preparing for the ASVAB if you are going to be taking the ASVAB there. This is important because unlike me, I showed up at my recruiting station and they said, hey, they're doing an ASVAB test. Do you want to go today? And I said, sure. And that was probably the worst idea because I didn't score very well. I didn't know what they were going to test. And I probably could have brushed up on math and gotten a way better score. I didn't understand like how serious this test was. and watch my other video, I think, where I talk about how naive I was. Take the ASVAB test. There wasn't much information when I was joining, but there's obviously a lot of YouTubers out there. There's a lot of people on the internet talking about what you can do to prepare for the ASVAB. When you are preparing for the ASVAB, make sure you do a couple practice tests, because that's going to really give you the idea, because there's a lot of weird questions that you've never been asked. For example, they had me choosing which pulley went to where, and my eyes just did that, and I had no idea like what I was being tested on. Just take a book from Amazon, go to the library. There's tons of resources. My fourth thing I can tell you is, before you go, make sure you have a couple jobs in mind. I always told people to have 5 in their head ready to go. The reason for this is that you should be a little versatile. You shouldn't choose all aviation rates. You shouldn't choose all, just try and make sure that you have an array of options. And this is because the fact that when you go to MEPS, you're not going to get 20 options on jobs. I've never heard of anyone getting 20 offers for certain jobs. It just doesn't happen that way. It all depends on the availability of what's available in the Navy at that point. You got to be ready for that. So that's why I tell you guys to get a couple different job options that you can think of. If you guys want to get a little insight on a couple jobs, I started the video series called Review of Navy Jobs. If you guys want, I'll probably include some kind of annotation around here so that way you guys can see it. That's a good starting point. I'm going to be doing more of those, so I'm listening to you guys. I understand. You guys want damage controlman, gunner's mate, and a bunch of other ones. I'm getting to it, okay? Trust me. I'm a busy guy too. Check those videos out, and if you like those, thumbs up those as well. Like them, because more are coming soon. The fifth thing that you need to worry about, and that is that you guys are going to be using this platform of MEPS to create a negotiation of the military and you. And what I mean by that negotiation is that there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, I felt pressured to join. I felt like coerced into it. I was overwhelmed. That's why I say prepare now with those jobs. Prepare for the ASVAB. So when you get there, it's not as overwhelming. But you should also know that if there's something that you don't want to do, no one is going to force you to sign the paper. I want that to be very clear, because I don't want you doing a job you don't want to do. If there is a job that is out there that is available and you choose it, that could ruin your military career because you hate the job, and it could be difficult to move to another job. Whereas if you waited a little longer for the job you wanted, you could do 20 years in a job that you like. It's really up to you, depending on your living situation and what your goals are versus what is available. You'll have to make that decision. I can't do it for you. Just don't feel like you guys need to make a decision right then. If you like what they offer, take it. If you don't like what they offer, don't take it. But just make sure when you go there, you guys know what you want. But like I said before with my job tip, was make sure you go with an open mind. I think that is very essential. And this is like an indoctrination to how the military works. You're not going to be able to get exactly what you want all the time. But you got to be able to have some leniency in what you desire and what is offered from the military. Alright guys, I hope you guys liked my 5 tips for before you guys go to MEPS. If you guys have any other future military questions, make sure you leave a comment down below, as these could be featured in future videos here on Nikki MG TV. If you guys want and you guys like this video, make sure you guys thumbs up and you subscribe for future videos. And I hope to see you guys next time. As always, love you guys. See you later.
I said I'll always remember the wood grain beneath my feet in a busy street. I never said I